So timetable, we're not like by any means a big full-time academy. Monday's a gi, Tuesday no gi, Thursday no gi, Saturday wrestling, and then open mat thereafter, and Sunday open mat. So I mean, Gould's only a pretty small town. So in terms of days per week, it's not like we've got 7 classes a day or anything like that. So most of the guys who train here, have jobs and things like that. So we don't have an abundance of classes, but that's why I kind of like try to structure it pretty, intense like that. Get a lot out of the sessions that we do, a lot of drilling, a lot of positional stuff and things like that. So I try to structure it that way so the learning's much better.
Yeah, you spoke a little bit on what you said just then about working full time yourself as well as running the gym. Is that something like you don't think a lot of people realise that are new coming into the sport, that people such as yourself that compete at a high level are also sort of balancing this at the same time?
I definitely feel like I'm one of the rarer ones now. I think probably, look, I'm 34 now, so I'm a little bit older than most guys at this level doing it, you know what I mean? Now, I think the opportunities for a lot of the younger guys to go full time is much better. There's more money about in terms of pro fights, you know what I mean? When I was like coming up as a purple belt, like 27, 28, you couldn't really win money. It was go and do IBJJF comps and that was about it, you know what I mean? So there's more opportunities. So I think I'm definitely rarer in terms of, having responsibilities in terms of a busy full-time job. I've got a very high-profile corporate job, which is a lot of commitment. Family as well. Obviously, I've got a fastly growing family with my 3rd child on the way. So there's that element. So, I think you can compete at a reasonably high level. Don't get me wrong, I'm realistic. I don't think I'm going to go and win ADCC or anything like that, but on a domestic level I can do all right, but really it's making sure you've got all your variables really tuned in. Am I training hard when I'm here? Am I picking the toughest rounds of the night? Is my fitness on point? Am I doing strength and conditioning when I can? And I think as well, just really doubling down on what you are good at. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very well known for leg locks, and it's no secret that that's what I actively pursue when I'm competing, is because I'm very, very good at a niche, you know what I mean? Now, if I can drag a fight into that, that's when I can perform at a disproportionately high level, as opposed to the amount of time, I can get on the mat. Because most guys I'm fighting, they're on the mat 7 days a week, twice a day, and I can't compete with that in terms of time, but in one particular niche, I can compete. So it's doable, but it's definitely getting rarer.
Yeah. What tips do you have for sort of dragging other competitors, like you say, into your world, into that leg lock world?
There's a couple of things really, because I think there's a psychological element to leg locking. Now, I think when you get a bit of a reputation as a leg locker, I think people deal with you with a level of hesitancy. Now, it's weird because if somebody's really bloody good at arm locks, they don't get the same level of hesitancy, people are trying to pass the guard, but in terms of people approaching, trying to pass your guard aggressively, they are a bit more hesitant unless they're very confident with leg locks themselves. So there's that helps for sure, but the one major concept I think people miss in terms of attacking legs is the judo concept of kazushi, breaking people's posture and things like that. So many people spend time in jiu-jitsu going, right, I need to do this sweep, I need to do this leg lock. Now, when I'm rolling and I'm feeling, I'm actually just probing for weaknesses in your base, your ability to, stay on top of things like that. That's actually what I'm really looking for. And then I'm exploiting opportunity when I break that. You know what I mean? If I can get you to really lean into one side, that's when I'm taking what I'm given at that point. So rather than think about moves, think about concepts, and breaking posture is a good one.
Yeah. I feel like there's a bit of a fear early on for a lot of newcomers when they first start jiu-jitsu around leg locks, around getting injured. Is that a real fear, or can you sort of practice that safely?
Look, I was taught that same thing, you know what I mean? Don't do heel hooks, you'll blow your knees up, and leg locks are dirty, and leg locks will really hurt you. Since we've had gripper jiu-jitsu, in this unit 3 years now, I've lived in Gould about 5, nearly 6 years, you know what I mean? I've been teaching heel hooks from day one white belt, you know what I mean? Don't know, I'm not day one white belt, but I'm teaching 2 white belts now. Honestly, to actually break somebody's leg and do some significant damage is very difficult. You've got to have a lot of things tight and sharp, you know what I mean? So it's less likely. But also on the same token, you've got to teach it an element of respect. Most of the things I say to at least junior belts is if you're getting heel hook grips, double gripped up, you know what I mean, you're done. Have the respect and tap. So I think it's just more of a lack of awareness about heel hooks. Is that why it's got this negative stigma, I guess. Like I said, I certainly teach it from very, very early on. And the only knee injury we've ever had is somebody trying to jump out of lockdown and blew their own knee up. So not once from heel hooks.
Yeah. In terms of, you said about teaching like newcomers to the sport, what are sort of the main principles you teach when it comes to leg locks and sort of for defense as well as offense?
In terms of a principle, I think if you can work backward from what someone is doing to you, it's just undo the concept that they're trying to do. If let's imagine a straight foot lock. A guy's going to get my knee pointed 90 degrees to my center point. He's going to bend it and he's going to try and rotate that through. So can I, put the boot on one? Can I get my leg straight? Can I turn my knee back into the same line as my head? So if you see what happens, you try and think on the other side of that coin and then unpack it and work backwards and things like that. And I think probably just exposure. Don't be afraid. Get involved. Let people, tapping's the best thing you can do in the world. I get tapped all the time because I'll put myself into really shit positions and allow people to, experiment and do stuff. So it's good for them, but also good for my learning of where my body limits are and what the limits of my defence are.
Yeah. Talk about preparation before for competition. When it comes to coming up to events, do you normally stick to your own gym, or you visit other places to sort of find other training partners? The
last few years, I've travelled a lot less. Now, I suppose there's two ways to look at it. I used to travel a lot more for training because we're still building the gym up here. Now, I think the gym here is definitely getting to a level where I've got a very, very strong mat. I can get high-level training with the guys we've got coming through. I've got definitely a team of proteges coming together. People are really pursuing it from an aggressive no-gi point of view. So there's that. So I don't need to travel as much anymore. But that's probably also respective of how bloody busy I am. I really don't have the time to go and train elsewhere for my own training now. But I get to do quite a lot of seminars. Along with that, there's usually a black belt or two, a couple of decent guys. I get those roles in there anyway. So I think cross-training is absolutely essential. We're doing the East Yorkshire Open mat around here and stuff like that. And we're getting all the toughest grapplers in the area. Cross-training, it's very much important and interesting to see the clash of styles from one gym to the other.
The Carlton Gracie in Hull?
Yeah, so me and Owen share an ethos about cross-training, you know what I mean? And he's obviously done it from a judo perspective, and I've got that from a jiu-jitsu perspective, but now Owen's doing the grappling thing as well. We definitely share the perspective that cross-training is going to see everybody develop much better. And it is very, it's really good to see because Owen's style and Owen's guys in his gym have got a really, really great passing game, really good base and top posture. And whereas a lot of our guys here are playing underneath and off balancing and going for leg locks and stuff. So it's a good clash of styles and it's great for them and it's great for us, you know what I mean? So definitely encourage everybody to cross-train. I think the days of all this don't train with other gyms is just a load of fucking nonsense, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you find how much other gyms focus on different areas of the game compared to a lot of the guys from your own gym that you might not realise as much, if you know what I mean?
Well, too many, and this is a broader problem with jiu-jitsu, is that so many years a lot of jiu-jitsu associations made these fucking godlike status of the coaches, you know what I mean, that they were infallible and they knew everything. And I'm the first to admit I don't know a lot of things in jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? And there's people who could do things way better than me, and I encourage people to get training in with them. Typically these daft godlike sort of gyms where they create this godlike coach structure is where the coach is also saying you don't need to train anywhere else. I've got everything you need. And it's just very insular and backward, you know what I mean? So for sure, I don't have everything. I know quite a lot of stuff. I think I pride myself on being a good coach, but there's definitely things I cannot do, and people should look for that elsewhere.
Yeah. You talked before about building the gym up a little bit. Can you tell me a bit about how the gym got started and how it sort of progressed since then?
I met my missus. I moved to Gull. We live here. And then there were a couple of guys here, and we were over in the back studio. I think it was 5 of us now. 5 of us then. You know what I mean? Just couple of people who lived in this area, and we used to travel to Pontefract to train, stuff like that. And then we just really, since there, just started building it up. I've been fortunate that people want to travel to come and train with me, you know what I mean? Like, we get people who drive a real long distance, best part of an hour to get here at night and stuff like that. So I'm very fortunate for stuff like that. And just keep doing good things. You know, this is just a side thing to me. I've got my job, I've got my family and stuff like that, so I try and push the gym as much as I can. I'm definitely a limiting factor to it growing more, but just trying to do good stuff, mate. Put good classes on, good tuition, opportunities for beginners to get involved, you know what I mean? Things like that. So I don't know, it's just organic really, but we definitely have got a strong team coming now. I'd say we've only been really doing it about 3 years.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear, man. I heard you joke in one of your post-match interviews about how you stick to the leg locks because you're a white belt in all other areas. Would you say that's still true? Or?
No, most certainly a joke. Like, look, you've seen tonight, I do an awful lot of other stuff. Like, similar to my earlier point, look.
I was joking about being shocked when I got here and you weren't training leg locks.
Leg locks, no. We do a lot of other stuff now. Like I said, it's my ability to excel at a higher level despite me not being full-time. You know what I mean? I could drag you into the leg game. It's, you know, I'm very, very good at that. So, you know, I'm stacking the odds in my favour by doing that. But, you know, as you've seen tonight, I really like to pass, really like to take the back and stuff like that. So I work it all, like I said, I really push. I don't train gi at all anymore. I wear it once a year to do promotions, that's it. Because I'm just really trying to get good at no gi. So, no, I'm definitely not a white belt. If anyone wants to come and challenge that, I'll have a roll with you.
Yeah. I know you joke about it, like you say, but do you think that's a bit of a misconception that some of the other lads have about you?
It is and it isn't, because you look at any of my comp footage, to be fair, odd times I do a bit of a takedown or a sweep or something like that, but look, it is no secret of my game plan. It is, I'm going to pull you into my guard and I'm going to try and rip your fucking legs from your body. You know what I mean? That's the only game plan. So my comp performances typically reinforce that idea, but there is the odd things, like in the final of the ADCC recently, I hit a nice sweep / takedown on a good pro MMA fighter. So I've got it when I need it, but 9 times out of 10 I don't need it.
Yeah. Obviously, leg locks have had a big part to play in jiu-jitsu in recent years. How do you think they'll play into jiu-jitsu moving forward?
Leg lock defense.
Yeah.
The best guys now have got good leg lock defense. For many years I was naively just doing attacking, and I got, to put it bluntly, I mentally choked and I didn't have any leg lock defense and got fucked up on a big stage for it. You know what I mean? So, and that was actually a real good catalyst for me to get much better at leg locks, because my defense was down here and now it's up here. You know what I mean? So the fact that if you could be really good at leg lock defense, your confidence goes through the roof and just allows you to really just dictate what's happening. So I think leg lock defense is going to be a massive, massive change. And I think a lot of people say like move into wrestling. I think that's probably true as well. If you can defend leg locks and you can wrestle, it's going to be hard night no gi for anybody.
I think there's going to be more development in wrestling in the future?
Definitely so. Like, look, we're doing wrestling every single week. There's a lot of gyms doing it now, so wrestling is key. The thing is, I think that's why I think ADCC rules will become more prevalent when you see the negative point for guard pulling. I don't necessarily agree with the premise, because I don't see it as a disadvantaged thing to do, to sit down, because in jiu-jitsu or grappling terms, the centre point is the guard, you know what I mean? But on the same token, it is an exciting rule set to watch. So,
do you think the ADCC rule set sort of it's come from a push to get jiu-jitsu more mainstream, if you know what I mean, and more entertaining with less?
I don't know if it was ever feel like more mainstream, but the fact that you have a point-free period is really, really good fun for me. I'll really go for it in the first couple of minutes just to see what happens. Now, it depends on, I think that's down to your character. I see people who are fucking boring who will go, I'm going to do jack shit for the 50% of the time period, and then I'll try and hit you with one takedown in the last, which really winds me up. And I think that's just my character. Like, I either win by submission or I lose by submission, because I'm going for broke, you know what I mean? I don't tend to win on decision much, I don't tend to lose on decision much, you know what I mean? So that's my character. Maybe I'd win more matches if I did try to eke things out and snatch victories like that, but that's not my character, I suppose. It's just down to the individual.
when can we see you competing next?
Very soon, it's yet to be announced, but I'm on Polaris at the end of November.
So you really want you to just get used to this here. 1, 2, clear that out. Now we're in a much better position. Even if he wants to recircle back in now, look, keep going, come on. We're in a really good position to completely fuck him up there, right? Now, next position though, I want to do something about this one, okay? So I'm going to go here. So he's blocking my hip, that's fine. Similar to what we do for like knee on belly here. All I'm going to do is lift my knee up and turn it through. You alright? Yeah. Your arm just popped then. He's on camera, he's taking it easy. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Now, pop there. So now you see the difference, okay? I'm doing an inverted knee ride facing in. He starts to pull upwards. 1, 2, and then I get the wrap again, okay? But the beauty of that is the arm's completely out of the way all the point. He starts to get ideas of getting on his side. Keep coming up. His arm, look, it's miles away. There's no way, it's not like I've left his arm free that he could get up and get it. I've kept it out of the way. Now, difference I'm going to play this time, different grip. Different grip I'm going to play. Rather than going here, I'll do my 5 finger, okay? Now once I'm in this position, okay, slide back through here. And the difference between a 5 finger and a normal guillotine, obviously with normal I'm going there and compressing. Different I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull his head more into my chin. It's more linear. The more compression I get into the chin, the better. So, before I pull, that's when you get to this, and I just go here. Get used to that now. If you feel like that's a little bit weak, no problem, go to the 10 finger. This one, the primary hand, the thumb in the throat, second reinforces, and like I said, my job is to push my thumbs into the neck and rotate his head down, so he's going like that. So the space between his chin and his throat is occupied by my thumbs, okay? So here, fine, feed the 10 finger in, stop him rotating over, and it's not twist as much, it's more pulling forward, pushing my head towards him. Can go 1, 2, finish there. If I pull with this, or 10 finger. Do you see how shallow my arm is? Normally we're here, see the difference? Well, I'm cupping onto his chin, around the back. One major flaw of this is him rolling over the top. So 2 things that I forgot to mention. I could go over the top there, but watch what I'm doing with this foot as well. See how that helps me to compress? See I'm cocking his leg out there? Play this a lot from guard, so rather than just being slack with it, I go 1, 2, I pull my upper body on, 3, pull him forward for the finish. Now, I realise it's going bad through the roll. As he starts to come up, my job is to keep my legs well out of the way. He's coming up, here, see this? Now, if he's trying to turn the corner, he's going to continually turn in right. See how I'm getting into this battle, and eventually he's going to scoop me in here, exactly. So I'm going to start to make that throw. I've got to get my knees underneath myself. So as he's coming up, go, throw, watch. Let's go back, just that, go. We go to this position. I go 1, lift, 2. See that technical stand up? So the higher I can keep that, so if he's walking around the corner trying to jump over, see that? I can keep him from over rotating on there, and then that'll allow me, once I can get this foot flat, to hip out. So just keep hips high there. Okay, 1, elbow back, 2. Now, my left arm is going to come straight under, and I'm going to double my grip up with respect to this. Now, the reason this is a good time to attack it, his arms are going to be wide, okay? The hunters are away from the nest, okay? That's a really good analogy, I thought, that. Come on. But what I'm saying is, this has got a job to do. This arm is trying to turn the corner, right? It's got a job to do over the ring, it's not defence. This one is base. Obviously he's come from that way, he's basing off it. So, perfect time to attack the neck when his arms are tied up doing shit. So look, I've got here, this one's still around the corner, slide over now. 10 finger grip. I move my sternum into the base of his neck. Here, pushing my belly. If you've got a bigger one, it works better. Now, all I'm gonna look to do, shimmy my weight parallel with his head. Now, I just compress my belly down. Same shit we've been doing all night. Compression of the neck. Did you get that?